All right, guys. Well, hey, welcome back to another episode. My name is Phil Dean. Hey, in this video, I want to go over the number one stress-related causes when it comes to finances. So first of all, I want to say that 82% of Americans today say that they feel stressed about their financial situation. And there are many reasons why they feel this way, but some of the top reasons are that it is their debt load that is probably the number one, their lack of savings is number two, and unexpected job loss could be one of them, and or the rising cost of prices, namely inflation today. All those things can put a strain on your budget. And if you listen to my channel over any time, you will know that I talk about debt all the time. Debt is the number one reason why people feel frustrated, why people aren't getting ahead in life and they're not achieving their financial goals, because debt is something that I harp on all the time. It robs you of your precious finances, and it makes you stressed out, and it makes you a slave to the paycheck. Well, first of all, before we get started, I want to say that I have a free download that I would like you to consider downloading. It's my 10 steps to organize your money, pay off debt, and 10 times your impact, and it is without working more hours. I'm going to link this in the description below, but make sure you download that. That is a very chronological order of steps to take to get you financially on your path to freedom. And download that. The link will be in the description below. So let's get into the video. There are 7 different steps that you can do to actually alleviate your financial stress. First of all, what you need to do is you need to have a plan. You may have heard me say it before that if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. Or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's just that simple. One thing you got to do is you've got to get your finances organized. One of the easiest ways to do this is build a checklist. It's something that I do all the time. Build a checklist and start with your checklist of your debt evaluation. Again, going back to that debt. Take an evaluation of your debt and how much outstanding balance is. This is going to be your credit card. This is going to be your personal loans, your car loans, your home loans, credit card debt, anything that you have. Take an evaluation and write it down. That is going to be the first place to start. Next off, you need to know where your money is going. Make sure that you know what you are spending your money on, whether it's recreation, whether it's entertainment. Look at the high categories, the high expense categories where you are spending your money. And that is one of the first places to start, so you can go ahead and start trimming your budget. One thing you want to do when you start allocating your money, you want to make sure that all of your money is accounted for. You need to get organized and know exactly where every dollar is going. And what this does is this actually helps you look at your overall financial picture. It's kind of like building a house. You lay the foundation, then the walls, and you put the roof on. If you follow these steps, you're going to get your financial house in order. Next off, you want to look at how much money are you saving. If you don't have a savings account, you need to start with at least $1,000 in your savings account. And what this is going to do is this is going to give you a little insurance, if you will, against those unexpected expenses. So what you do is you go ahead and you list out all your expenses, look at your net income that's coming in from your paycheck, list out all your expenses, and then subtract that and see what money you are left over with. And what that's going to do is that's going to see if you have any buffer or any money left over at the end of the month. And if you come to zero and you don't have any, well, then maybe what you can do is just adjust some of the categories in your budget to a lesser amount so that you can have money left over to put into savings to get to that $1,000 goal. Something that my wife and I do all the time when we're looking at our finances is we have to communicate. If you have a spouse or you have a partner and you are working at money together or you're both spending money, you have to communicate. I would recommend setting up a time where you can sit down and go over your expenses. And here's the deal. Don't be afraid to reward one another. If there's a spender out there that's spending a lot of money and he or she cuts their spending, encourage them, thank them, and maybe take yourself out and reward yourself. So the main point is have these discussions about your finances, because when you discuss it together, you get on the same page. And what you can do is this will help you cut down your stress, and you can adjust the problems as you go along. Communication is very important in any relationship, but especially finances, because you got to be on the right page. One thing that my wife and I did over time is we came up with a certain amount of money that we would be able to spend without talking to the other partner. So we back in the day, we set a threshold of $50. Anything under $50, my wife and I could spend without talking to one another. But when it came to $50 or above, and it was something that maybe was a purchase that we don't make that often, we would communicate. We would talk about it, so these expenses were not surprising to the other partner. So communication is the very key. One thing that you're going to have to realize with finances, you are going to have curveballs that are going to come your way. So if you want to reduce your stress financially, you got to plan for those curveballs, because it's going to happen. You might have an emergency. The car might break down. Maybe you'll have to fix the furnace or get a new water heater or something like that, and these emergencies will come up. But if you don't have money set aside, these expenses are going to be something that will put stress on you and your budget. So like I said, you want to have a $1,000 emergency fund. After that, when you spend a little bit of money out of that, make sure you replace it right away. And I would also suggest that you set up a second savings account that would be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses that would be saved in case you would lose a job or some catastrophic event would happen in your life. So let's talk about debt right now. I know one thing: being in debt will take a toll on your mental stability. It's that simple. What you need to do is you need to prioritize paying off debt. Make sure that you set money aside, readjust your budget to pay off your debt. And what I recommend is using the snowball method. The snowball method is looking at your credit card or whatever debt outstanding that you have. The smallest amount needs to be paid off first. So if it's $500, pay that debt off first, and then after that debt is paid off, the money that you were putting on that debt then goes to the second category of debt. And what happens is we do this, what we call the snowball method, that goes ahead and it compounds and starts to pay off the debt as fast as we can. If you have a large amount of debt, there are certain ways that you can look at taking care of that. One thing that you can do is you can look at consolidating your debt into maybe one loan payment. And what we can do is we can maybe take out a home equity line of credit on your home to pay off maybe credit card debt or any other debt that you have. It's not always recommended because that is equity that you have in your house. But if you're really disciplined, you're going to be able to take that money and pay off your debt and then have a lower interest rate. Another thing you can do is look at refinancing your loans. Maybe that's a home mortgage. Don't be afraid to refinance that. See if you can get a lower interest rate. I like to drop at least 1 to 2% before you make a change, so that you will see a bigger difference on your monthly bill. The other thing that you want to do when you go ahead and set up a new payment plan to pay off your debt, you want to make sure that you set it up on automatic payments so that you are absolutely disciplined to pay this off. This can be done simply through a checking account, an automatic withdrawal from a checking account, and it's going to be way less hectic. And setting up automatic payments frees you from missing it and paying extra interest. The other thing I say is treat your savings account a little bit the same way that you can automatically take that out of your check and put it into your savings account, so you don't have to worry about transferring and forgetting it. One thing you got to remember is you want to save first, and then you want to spend second. Make sure you pay yourself first. Make sure you have a savings plan. Make sure you dedicate that. Even if it's $100 a paycheck, it doesn't need to be a lot, but you need to get into the habit of saving money first. Make sure that you plan ahead for the future. Don't kick the can down the road. Don't take the approach that we're going to go ahead and tackle that another day, because another day typically doesn't come. What happens is you risk waking up one day and panicking because now you're behind the 8 ball and you didn't plan for these unexpected expenses, and all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball. Remember, your achievements don't happen overnight, so get started and make it happen right now. Procrastination is your worst enemy. And lastly, make sure you get help. Don't be afraid to talk to a financial counselor. Again, download my 10 steps to organize your money, which is a great place to start. But don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to ask somebody. Don't be afraid to get a financial coach or to take a program. It is very important to put your finances first if you do not want to have financial stress. Thanks for listening, and we will see you in the next video.